Okay, Moody. So, what are we doing today?
Well, I'd like to think that this whole idea started with the notion that this place is so interesting to work in that we ought to have our own reality show.
Yes, kind of like The Office,
like
right?
The Office, yes,
yeah.
but
pan over to camera.
Stranger, yeah. So, right, with the fourth wall going on.
Yeah.
And then eventually it kind of turned into, well, we could do a podcast because there really is a lot going on here.
Yeah,
and
all the time.
We talk to each other about it all the time, every day. But we began to think that it would be kind of cool to tell everybody else about it.
Yeah.
The stuff that goes on behind the why.
So hence Behind the Why was
right.
born. So perfect. I think a lot of what we're hoping here is this kind of two-toned in a way. So we're wanting to talk about the things that are going on inside our why and what's going on a daily basis, whether it's programming or talking to our staff or whatever that may look like. But also behind the why, WHY, right?
Why do we do it?
Why we're here. Yeah. Why are we doing this? And really honing in on what the mission of the YMCA is as well, and what we can do to continue to better serve our community. So I'm so excited. This is our first episode, and we're getting started.
Our new studio.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have some special guests as we go along as well, and we'll have more and more topics to talk about. But for maybe some people that don't know who you are, right? Let's start with that of who we even are. Who are these people talking to you right now?
Talking to
right?
Now? Okay, sure.
So Moody, tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay. Moody's not your first name.
It's my last name.
Let's start with that. So it's Tim Moody.
Yes.
Right?
Nobody calls me
Nobody
Tim.
calls him Tim.
No.
Nobody calls him Tim.
Yeah, I've always been Moody. With a name like Moody, you don't need a nickname.
Right.
So,
pretty unique.
My parents call me Moody.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So where did you come from? Like, how did you get started with the Y, and what's your role at the Y right now?
So I'm the aquatics director.
Okay.
And that means all things pool and all the programs that go on and all that kind of stuff. It's a really important part of the Y. It's really one of the first things people think of. One of our biggest challenges is kind of trying to keep in mind people's minds that we have more than the gymnasium, the pool.
Yeah, that we're more than a gym and swim.
Gym and swim. Yeah. Swimnasium, I heard.
Swimnasium.
Like that too.
I like that. That's unique. Yeah.
But so I'm the aquatics director, and I do some swim team coaching and stuff like that. I'm from New England, which is right on the coast. So swimming is, you can't not swim. There's nobody that doesn't swim in New England. Well, I should
maybe
say
a few.
There's a few. My mother was one of them. But,
okay.
So I was always, the Y was a really big part of me growing up. We had a really great Y.
Okay.
I grew up in Marblehead, and they actually had an island called Children's Island, and that's where they did their summer camp. So every summer we would hop on our bikes and go down to the pier and get on a ferry and go out and spend the whole summer out there swimming and learning how to do archery and all that kind of stuff. So very much always a part of my life being in the water. And I've swam myself, of course, competitively and all that kind of stuff. I was in the Army for a while, did an Army dive program and things like that. And for me, this job is perfect. It's an office job where I get to be a grown-up and do payroll and emails
adult
and stuff.
Things,
and then when I was looking, I can go play in my pool.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
That's a perfect blend. But you have, and I know we'll talk about it more as we get further into this podcast series, but I mean, you have such a wide array of experience that I think would be really unique for a lot of our members to hear from. From your military background, of kind of joining a little bit later within your life and the service portion of that, but also you help with the Hammerheads swim team, so you're an avid swim coach as well, and that's a big part of it. And I think you'll find a lot of our leadership team here, and just really our staff in general, really has a servant heart about them. So
and miss it when it's not there. I didn't coach for the first year that I worked here, and missed it. I mean, it was a huge part of what I was into doing.
And being able to make an impact in your community is you're helping to build up these kiddos and things of that sort.
And we throw that word around, community, but I've noticed that like even just among the swim crowd, I'm running into the same kids. They're on 3 different teams. It's the same parents. They're all. This is a really neat group of people that does like this specific sport. There's lots of sports, and I should say when I took this job, so I inherited a swim team.
Yeah.
You get a swim team with this job.
Yes, and that is Capital Aquatics.
That's right.
That competes here.
Twice a day.
They're part of the YMCA of Harrison County, though.
Yeah,
yes.
And like I said, I've competed all my life. I swam and all that kind of stuff. And I was talking to my dad about the new job. And I told him, I said, I inherited a swim team. And he said, oh, that's cool. I said, the thing that's really cool is it could have been any kind of swim team.
Yeah, it could be a really bad
They could have been terrible.
Yeah.
And I still would have loved them. And
But
I still would have been
little
on our
did you
team.
know.
They are crushing it at every level that they compete at. And I love that.
The highest ranked teams within the state, really, or beyond
everywhere they go,
probably.
they're crushing. Yeah, and
so,
they're 0.3 of a second away from national championship records and
That's
stuff.
wonderful.
I'm very fortunate that I inherited a really good team.
Yeah.
I can pretend to take credit for it, and yeah.
Well, but thankfully we have a lot of talent in this area, and thankfully the Y can continue to serve those individuals by having the pool here, and we serve a lot of teams. But thankfully we also have you, Moody, right? That you're our aquatics director, and that's a big part of our community again, and also our Y. So it's a big part of who we are. But for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm just randomly talking here. So my name's Janelle Amy, which is another, I guess, it's like I have two first names, but it is Amy is my last name. We'll soon be changing to Thomas, and
I might
after
call you
September.
Amy until the big day.
I know. I really like my name.
Right.
I really like my name right now.
You
So,
won't turn around.
well, I'll determine what I'm going to do. But anyways, I digress. So my name's Janelle Amy, and I've recently just started as the membership advancement and development director. Matt. The Mission Advancement and Development Director. I don't know if I just said membership or not. Not membership. Mission Advancement and Development Director is my role here at the Y. And so a lot of that, what it goes into is continuing to do things like this to where we're talking about the good things that are happening at our YMCA. So hopefully you guys will also see me within a lot of videos talking about what we're doing, this podcast out in the community, things of that sort. But also, we're looking at what the future of the Y holds, right? Like how are we continuing to advance and develop for everybody, and continuing just to be that puzzle piece.
Now, would you say that there's a particularly important project that is on the horizon that may have had something to do with the fact that we needed somebody with your talents around?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
We're still kind of within a little bit of a quiet phase. That doesn't mean that we're not talking about it, but the Y is definitely looking at some future expansion of our facility. So, of course, our aquatic facility is something that's needed. We have a lot of teams that are utilizing that, and our facility that we're in right now is about 25 years old. So it's needing a little bit of growth as our county has continued to grow. So that's something
we all grew up pretty quickly, from what I understand.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Almost
so
immediately.
I think this Y was built for around 3,000-ish members, and right now we're at about 6,000. So it's time for us to be looking at what that next step is and addressing what the community wants and their needs. So by all means, we hear you guys whenever you give us feedback. We want to take that to heart and see what we can continue to improve upon. But please know, it's coming.
There's something in the works.
It's within the works. It's going to take us a while to get there. I'm not saying it's going to take forever, but this is going to be a gradual process to make sure that we're doing it right whenever we're doing it. So anyway, that's going to be a really large part of my role, and hopefully I will be hearing from many of our community members. So Mindy, tell me, other than the pool, right? What's something within the Y that you really love and that really drew you here? Maybe some deep passion behind it.
I don't know how this is going to sound. So you mentioned I have a very eclectic past. I have a lot of things that I've done, and I did those things because I've never really been afraid to do something that I hadn't done before. It's never been a problem for me. I love just doing something new. And usually when people ask me, hey, do you want to fill in the blank? You want to fly my airplane? I'm the guy that says, yeah, I'd love to.
I'll drive your NASCAR. Yeah.
And I love that I see that here, like the swim lessons or the kids who, they get through that. It hurts when I practice, yes, but after that, it's so much fun to be really good at something.
Yeah.
I enjoy the development and the growth, and I hate how it sounds kind of cliche, but I love seeing people take stuff that we give them and make it their own and use it to just crush it in life. I get a big kick out of that.
And that goes so far beyond the pool as well. So I mean, whether it's rock steady boxing and being able to make that impact. I mean, I've met a lot of people just within like refit and country throwdown as well. I've been trying to go to those classes and meet some more people, and everybody has their own little story, and I think that's kind of what my favorite part is.
Yeah,
is that
the stories.
the Y really gathers such a diverse mix of people within our community that before this role, I was working within downtown Corydon as the Main Street Corydon director, and you kind of start to see kind of same people, same business owners consistently, same people that are supporting the downtown area. But this has opened up my eyes to just a whole new realm of people in our community, and how awesome is that? Like everybody's has their own little passion, and all come together to, even though they may just think that they're coming to exercise, they're building community.
Yeah,
in
it's
our
like a
Y.
little town hall we have here.
I think it's great.
And they all go their separate ways, and then we regroup next week.
Yes, I think it's
really
great.
cool.
I'll see you next week at Country Throwdown.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that to me, that's the kind of stuff that warms my heart, is just seeing people come together over something that can just build community as well. I think that's wonderful, and that's what the Y is here for, really.
And they're out. I see them out there doing. I see them out there too, so it's kind of cool that they're not. This isn't all they're doing either. Like they're doing stuff, but I'll run into them everywhere.
Yes.
Like they're at the fair. They're at the
So you get
Popcorn
to
Festival.
you really Popcorn Festival.
Yeah.
I know that's coming up right around the corner too. But yes, it's a good place to just start making friendships and just get out and about in your community. So, man, we have a lot of exciting things to talk about. This is kind of just our intro video.
We're not talking about them all in the first episode.
We can't.
No.
We gotta leave you guys hanging on for a little bit. But again, my name's Janelle Amy. I'm the Mission Advancement and Development Director, and you are.
I'm Moody. I'm the Aquatics Director.
Yes, and we're excited to have you on Behind the Y here at the YMCA of Harrison County, and we can't wait to see you every Friday. We'll be recording an episode and be releasing it on our website, our Facebook page, Instagram, Spotify, basically.
iHeart. We're gonna try and do both of those.
We're going to be having some areas that if you just want to listen to the podcast while you're on the road, or hopefully be able to check out our social media platforms, you can join us.
Before we split, should we talk about some of the others? What else are we going to do in the program? So we'll talk about programming that we have.
Yes.
We'll have stories from the Y.
Yep.
We'll have insider stuff. We
Yep.
have some insider
We'll
stuff.
be hopefully talking to some of our staff members.
Some spotlight staff members,
spotlight members as well. I know you were kind of saying about what's happening here,
got
but
some
we
great
have some
stories.
really unique stories, and I'm so excited to share those as well. So there's a lot of things to be talking about, kids programs, whatever that may be. But yeah, we can't wait to have you guys join us for all the things that will unfold.
Awesome.
Hopefully you'll stick around.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, until then, we'll see you guys.
next time.
We'll see you guys next Friday.
I'm going behind the Y.
Behind the Y.